Zuby, eat your heart out. Take a look at this story. Pulling his weight. Male powerlifter protests Canada's woke gender self-ID laws by saying he's a woman, then entering female contest and smashing bench press record. Bravo. Bearded Avi Silverberg, who shattered the women's bench press record. Now, of course, you all know that it was Zuby who several years ago, man, has it been that long? Broke the, what did he break, the deadlift record? Now, he didn't literally, he literally did. He broke the record. He lifted more than the strongest female deadlifter. Zuby did a deadlift, but identifying as a woman, thus, he is the best women's deadlifter ever. And it became a viral story. Well, now we have someone doing something very similar. They write, this is the moment a male coach claims to be a woman and smashes the female bench press record at a powerlifting competition in Canada. Bearded Avi Silverberg is shown calmly approaching the bench in men's clothing as part of a protest against gender self-identification policies in sport. Silverberg then unofficially breaks the female bench press record for the 84 plus kilograms women's category, which was a 270-pound press, officially set by a trans lifter. Really? Now that adds more to the story. The move, which took place Saturday at the Heroes Classic tournament in Lethbridge, Alberta, was apparently designed to protest rules outlined by the Canadian Powerlifting Union. Silverberg has yet to comment on his decision to enter the contest and subsequent victory. So they say unofficial, but it sounds like this was actually an official contest. He entered and won. The Canadian rules allow anybody who self-identifies as a woman to compete in the female category, sparking concerns trans women who've gone through male puberty may have considerable physical advantage over biological female rivals. This melts my brain. I am tired of hearing it. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of conservative outlets saying assault rifle. Google it. And I am tired of outlets saying male puberty, prenatal testosterone has a tremendous impact on collagen and fast versus slow twitch muscle development, period. End of story. Puberty has nothing to do with it. Now, to be fair, puberty does play a role, of course. But I always want to ask these people this. It was a 12-year-old boy who performed the first skateboarding 1080 spin. No female has ever done a 720. And don't give me that Sky Adams or whoever did a 720 flyout. Flyouts are not the same thing. And this is what really annoys me. It was a big deal, what was it, like 10 or 15 years ago, when a woman did the first 540 spin on a skateboard. A female did a first 540 spin. Men have been doing 540 spins on skateboards since like the late 70s, early 80s. And then I think it was in the 80s, Tony Hawk did the first 720 spin by going fakie, which means going backwards, and it adds, when you snap that rotation, an extra 180 degrees. Eventually, skateboarders got to the point where they could do a standard, a straightforward, goofy or regular stance 720, which means you go up, spin twice, and then come back down backwards. It was a big deal in 1999 when Tony Hawk landed the first 900-degree spin. I believe he was 32 years old. And then, in I think it may have been like 8 years ago now, a 12-year-old boy on a mega ramp performed the first 1080 spin. But a mega ramp is massive, 20 feet. This gave more time for someone to perform the spin. Of course, I believe it was then a 10-year-old boy who recently, in the past couple of years, performed the first 1080 spin on a standard half pipe. Where are the girls? Where are the girls? These are prepubescent boys. Of course, then a dude performed a 1260, and like no one really cared all that much, which is kind of sad. But anyway, I digress. It's not about puberty. Puberty does play a role for sure, but where are the girls performing these spins? There is a young girl named, I believe Sky Adams is her name, I could be wrong, who's performed what's called a flyout. A flyout is when you go up a quarter pipe and launch out of the ramp to the flat ground. Whereas typically when you perform the spin, you go up the ramp and back into the ramp. It's much more difficult. Flyouts, sorry, in my opinion, are very easy. They're very, very easy. It's launching a flat ground. And someone says, a girl's done a 720, the first girl to ever do a 720. And it's just like, dude, come on. That's not, we have a, so what? The standards for boys and girls are different? That's what they do. And I wonder why. They go on to say, The CPU released its trans inclusion policy in February, which was based on guidance from the Canadian Centre for Ethics in Sport. Silverberg smashed the record set by transgender powerlifter Anne Andres, who has previously mocked women for being so bad at bench pressing. Why is women's bench so bad, she said in February. I mean, not compared to me. We all know, I'm not going to repeat what they said, but they said something rather offensive. Doesn't count. I mean, standard bench in powerlifting competitions for women, I literally don't understand why it's so bad. She made the statements in a video uploaded online. At the time, Riley Gaines, a spokeswoman for the Independent Women's Forum and competitive swimmer, who was beaten by trans athlete Leah Thomas, hit out at Andre. She wrote on Twitter, Anne Andre, male who identifies and competes as a woman, doesn't understand why female powerlifters are so bad at bench press. Here's the dude. Sorry, the lady. This it's very much like that episode of South Park, I'm sorry to say. This is, who is this one? Silverberg unofficially broke the record for the 84 plus kilogram women's category. Why is it unofficial? How is it unofficial? He entered the contest, right? Quote, well, I don't know, Anne, but maybe it's because you have 20 times more testosterone than them. Just a thought. Icons Women, a campaign group dedicated to defending the rights of female athletes in single-sex sport, posted the clip of Silverberg on their Twitter account. The issue of allowing transgender athletes to compete in women's sport has become increasingly contentious after a series of high-profile cases. In 2022, transgender swimmer Leah Thomas divided the sports community after spending 3 years on the University of Pennsylvania's men's swimming team. Thomas, who is 6'3", came back for her final year as a female swimmer and breaking records in the pool. No, not female, male. That's fine. You can say women's team. That's the game they're playing. How about this? The female team is for females and the male team is for males, and I don't care what you identify as. She beat Gaines, who has since become an outspoken advocate for protecting female spaces in sport. Gaines took objection not only to Thomas's unfair advantage having been born a man, but also claimed it made her feel uncomfortable in the locker room. Quote, you have someone with male genitalia pulling his pants down, watching you as you undress, it throws you off. Yikes. Here's Icons Women saying trans-identifying male Anne Andre in Alberta is Alberta Canadian women's powerlifting record holder in bench. Competes next month in women's category at the 2023 CPU National Championships, recognizes no understanding of upper body strength differences between males and females. Yeah, well, you know. In 2021, New Zealand weightlifter Laurel Hubbard qualified for the Tokyo Olympics despite being nearly twice the age of her female rivals. You know, look, I'm gonna come out and say this. I'm not saying to be a dick or anything. I am 37. I have been skateboarding since I was about 13. I don't skateboard as often as I used to, but still pretty good. I can do nollie hard flip late flips. And if this goes over your head, that's kind of the point. I will use as much jargon as possible so you can understand. Nollie flip, no slide, nollie flip out. I can do switch blunt, switch heel. I can do 540 big flips. And you're probably thinking like, wait, what are all these things? Yeah, I'm decently good at skateboarding, but I would never rank in any capacity in any men's sporting category. I think the best I've ever placed was like 9th out of 25. And I'm not bad. I'm just not a pro. Pretty good. One of the best in my area. Had some sponsorships back in the day. If I decided to enter a women's skateboarding contest as a dude, I would probably hit the podium. In fact, I got to be honest, at 37, which is like, yo, I'm over the hill in terms of pro sports. You give me 6 months, I could probably win a women's competition. And to be fair, I'm not saying any guy could do it. I'm not saying you could take any guy at 37, hand him a skateboard, say, learn to skate. No, that wouldn't work. I'm saying like, there's no way I would ever get anywhere. I'm not going to be even board sliding the Hollywood High 16. Okay. You know, maybe if I had to, I would, what could I probably do? Front feeble down to 12. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm old. If I had to, could probably do a feeble or front feeble down to 16. The physical capability is there. The will was never there. I've never done anything that big. I've skated like 13 stairs before. Tray flip, switch hard flips off of obstacles, kick flip, late heel flip. You can look these things up. You can look up my skateboarding stuff. You can look up Tim Pool, kick back flip down a 5 stair, a small little stairs at a skate park. If I really wanted to, I could go out, train for 6 months, and then probably get first place in a contest against women. I'm not saying it to disparage women. I'm not saying to say that they're bad. I'm saying they have their own space for a reason. And it is fair to say that I may not be the best, but I'm certainly not the worst skateboarder. There are many skateboarders, I probably know 1,000, who are nowhere near good enough to be pro, but would win a women's skateboarding contest. Like it's just not even a question, man. It's not even a question. I wonder, I don't know why, but I have theories. I think when you look at skateboarding, the difference between males and females is so tremendously pronounced. It's insane. It's just absolutely insane. Granted, there are some really, really good female skateboarders. No question. But I just think, for me as an athlete, I just look at this and I'm like, dude, no question, none. So this is where we're headed. Congratulations to this woman right here for breaking the record. Good job, sir. Yeah, all right. That's all you want to be. I don't see why we'd go anywhere else. And I don't see why this guy isn't the record holder if he says he's a woman. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around and I'll see you all shortly.